The comments section on just about anything you find on the internet is kind of a cesspool. The comments sections on my videos, though, delightful. Well, with one glaring exception. Yeah, I'm afraid it's time to talk about pickup trucks again. This is CityNerd, weekly content on cities and transportation. Viewer-suggested topics always appreciated, and today is really all about responding to you, the viewers. So my video on problems with pickup trucks isn't my most viewed video of all time. That's this one. But if I go into my content dashboard, the stats are very weird. It has more comments than any other video I've made, and it's also my most disliked video of all time. I mean, it's the only video where the like-dislike percentage is under 90. If I was still in school, I guess that's a B. But you know, in this day and age, anything under a 5-star review is a fireable offense. So I wanted to investigate. Okay, so here's the thing. I thought it would be fun to go through and read every comment on this video that has the most comments of any video I've ever made, and the most dislikes, and then just make a video that responds appropriately. You might ask, am I a complete masochist? And honestly, after the last week or so, I'm kind of asking that question myself. So we're gonna go over the thoughtful, the stupid, the clever, the downright misanthropic, the whole gamut. Some of this is gonna be ridiculous, obviously, but some of it's gonna touch on important stuff I never got to in the first video. Things like how federal policy dictates the way pickup trucks in the US are built. So let's start with the top comment, which is from Jacob Korducky and has over 1,000 likes. He mentions the rat race or arms race effect, and that really resonated with people. Other comments touched on that theme too, but took it in a bit different direction. You made me change my mind, and now I want to pick up for its larger size and safety. Okay, that's probably trolling. If your vehicle is smaller than mine, get out of the way. If your vehicle is larger than mine, stay in the right lane. If you're not from Texas, you don't understand. Like, I needed another reason not to live in Texas. One thing I got comments on that was really interesting that I didn't touch on in the video was land use, like the need to provide wider lanes and turning radii. That is totally a thing. I'm a city planner and I hear you need to require more larger parking spaces because my vehicle is too big more often than I would like. This is not really what you go to planning school for. Or, I don't see how one can live in a single family house in the suburbs without one. You're so close to getting it. Or this one, I have family in rural areas. Everyone there drives a pickup, and that's cool since walking/biking is not as practical, so there aren't really any pedestrians to run into. I don't know, it seems dystopian. And people had questions. You had people challenging my data collection methodology. Well, I questioned it myself. I actually got a lot like this one. Getting on the freeway to observe how many trucks are empty isn't really a good gauge given the fact that the truck could have just been unloaded before getting on the freeway, or maybe on its way to get a load. Like, really, do you think that's the most likely explanation? That our roadways are just teeming with industrious pickup truck owners who do nothing but drive from place to place all day, picking up and dropping off loads of like 2x4s and bags of cement? More than that though, I got a lot of people who challenged the idea that pickup trucks have gotten bigger and heavier over the years, or that it was fine because all vehicles have gotten bigger and heavier. Like, luxury vehicles have a lot of weight too. The Dodge Challenger is 4,500 pounds. Wait, did you just call the Dodge Challenger a luxury vehicle? I'm just gonna disqualify this comment. But mostly they got fixated on the fact that I did a visual comparison between an 80s midsize pickup and a modern full-size. Which, sure, but the point was people used to buy more midsize trucks. Also, I literally gave you this chart from the EPA in the video that shows the weight of a new pickup has grown basically an order of magnitude faster than any other vehicle type. I put the actual data right in the video. I don't know, I'm starting to get the feeling people comment on things on the internet without having read or watched them. So I'm kind of disillusioned. And finally, you had this person. I thought you were gonna cover the problem that I see. Pickups have gotten bigger. You guys, I think I'm losing my mind. I also got a ton of comments asking why I'm not complaining about Teslas since they're heavy too. I guess with the implication that I must be a huge Tesla fan. Well, this was a video about pickup trucks. If you want a video about Teslas, here's one that I recommend. Another genre of comments was people pointing out that how else are they going to tow their boat slash snowmobile slash camper all over the planet every weekend? So let me see if I got this right. Your plan is to put as many miles as possible on your truck while also towing a completely different depreciating asset out to the wilderness and back. Look, I'm not saying outlaw pickup trucks. I'm all about freedom of choice. I also fully support your right to put all of your cash in a pile in the middle of the street and just light it on fire. There was also the argument, yeah, trucks are big, but they conform to federal regulations and therefore they're good. Like, I'm sure this person is extremely pro-government regulation in a very consistent way. But there's actually some good stuff here. Several people pointed out that the way CAFE or corporate average fuel economy standards are set up actually incentivizes auto manufacturers to make vehicles physically larger rather than trying to improve fuel efficiency and emissions, because CAFE has lower fuel efficiency standards for vehicles with larger wheelbases. So therefore, there may be a large untapped market for reasonably sized trucks that simply aren't in the inventory because they aren't profitable for the manufacturers. Enter, apparently, the Ford Maverick, which I got like 1 million comments on. And okay, I have to address this. Maybe I'm an oblivious city guy, but I've just never heard of the Ford Maverick. Is this something my viewers really know and care about? Or does the Ford Motor Company have a highly efficient bot farm that spams middling YouTube channels, inundating the comments section with fake grassroots enthusiasm for new products? I don't know, and I'm definitely not giving it one more second of free publicity. I also got 1 million comments on the Chevy Silverado, but not because people were gushing about what a game-changing product it is, but that it was hilarious that Chevy was running Silverado ads on my video. Hey, unlike all you people giving the Ford Maverick free advertising down in the comments, at least Chevy is paying me to advertise a huge pickup truck to a bunch of urbanist nerds. And look, as far as all the dislikes, I get that not everybody's gonna vibe with this channel. I agree with some of what you said, but a lot of it sounds like somewhat uninformed condescension to me. Well, somewhat uninformed condescension is kind of this channel's brand, so welcome. This is the first one of your videos I've watched that made any sense to me. I'm amazed you kept watching, but thanks. Both of those people should definitely subscribe, and if you too are a fan of nonsense and uninformed condescension, you should hit the subscribe button as well and maybe take a gander at the Patreon, link down in the description. More brilliant viewer comments in a minute, but first, sub count check. The channel now has enough subscribers to fill one of the truly great stadiums on the planet, the Alberto Jose Armando in Buenos Aires, better known as La Bombonera, home of Boca Juniors. You want a stadium that fits a city's grid almost to the point of absurdity? Well, this is the one. Okay, let's go right into the good stuff. Yep, typical city person thinking. Well, that's probably fair. War and Peace, clever, takes it a little further though. City folks, once again, complaining about something without even considering the other 75% of the population. Not everyone lives in the cities or the suburbs. 75% of people live in rural areas. I mean, we actually have a census bureau that collects data on this stuff, so we aren't talking about a matter of opinion here. For those of you watching from outside the US, it's pretty well established now that we aren't all even operating with the same basic set of facts at this point. Thanks, Australia. You know what though? I'm still a positive person. There are still reasonable people out here, and we can see eye to eye. I got quite a few comments along these lines. I love my Ram 1500, but I'm not gonna argue with any of these facts. Good video. The creator on this channel lacks perspective, but he makes decent points. I gotta say, as a big unnecessary truck owner, I'm pretty triggered by this video, haha. This video attacks me personally, but I still value it. But mostly, and this was unfortunate, there were a lot of people who felt attacked, but apparently didn't value it at all. What's interesting though is that so many of these comments had the same kind of like standardized vocabulary and rhetorical approach. See if you can spot the similarities. This is hashtag MAGA country says, beta male approved. What a beta. Not everyone lives your beta lifestyle. A channel called CityNerd would say this. What an absolute beta. Beta soy boy. Oh yeah, soy was a big thing too. Has anyone done a study of the evolution of these weird code words? It's just super interesting. Like, what does soy have to do with anything? The soy is strong with this one. I don't think you have enough soy in your diet. Hey, you anti-freedom soy boy. Not to say that some of the comments didn't venture outside the box. I don't think you would be able to enjoy a topless bar, wimpy little thing. Reply, LMOA, agreed. This guy's a wimp, LMOA. It's the people who drive trucks that allowed this guy, question mark, to enjoy eating his avocado on artisan bread. Very disappointing video. The genre of comment that was absolutely the weirdest though was the wife's boyfriend angle. Like, this is an idea they obsess over. I bet his wife's boyfriend has a pickup and he's just triggered by it. And this one. At least when CityNerd needs to move stuff that would take a pickup, he can ask his wife's boyfriend to use his pickup truck. Honestly, this sounds a bit like a you problem with some projection thrown in. Like, do these dudes literally live in a world where the thing that makes you a great catch for the ladies is spending like $70,000 on what's really a pretty stupid looking vehicle that depreciates rapidly? I mean, it just feels like a lot of these people are super antisocial. Like, how are these people finding anyone who wants to hang out with them, let alone the spouse of a obscure YouTuber? Look at some of this. Not everyone cares about the environment. I literally could not care less about CO2 emissions. If some jackass soccer mom decides to come into my lane, she deserves to have a harsher impact. Let's be real, people who buy vehicles that look like this aren't interested in coming off as friendly or approachable or particularly interested in the well-being of their fellow humans. They're really going for the polar opposite. And they definitely don't want you to tell them there's anything wrong with that. Like, the most frequent comment I got here was, mind your own business and don't tell people what to drive. Freedom of choice, nanny state takeover. If you are worried about other cars getting too big, maybe you should buy a truck. This is America. You need to drive American cars in America. If you drive quote unquote European cars, you're going to get crushed under the weight of my awesome pickup truck. So wait, you just told me not to tell other people what to drive, and then you told me I need to drive a pickup truck. What did Emerson say about consistency? It's the hobgoblin of little minds. Maybe my brain just isn't big enough to comprehend the pickup truck owner mindset. This is the one I want to close with though, because I really think it goes to the heart of it. Don't mess with the pickups, man. That's almost like speaking blasphemy. The love affair with these trucks runs deep and often goes back generations within families. That's America right there, man, and I hope these trucks are around for a long time. There's a lot I could say about this comment, but I'm already going long. I think it's fair to say that pickup trucks are expensive cultural signifiers. What it is exactly that they signify is maybe a question for another time. Cars and trucks are deeply woven into the American identity in a way that I feel like they aren't in other countries. Like, I'd love to see a study of the proportion of Americans whose social media profile pic is taken from the inside of their car versus people from basically any other country. Has anyone done this? Let me know down in the comments. I just feel like it would be pretty illuminating. Okay, fine. One bonus comment. I like you. You make a lot of sense. You should be in charge of something. Rick, I have enough trouble keeping control of the comments section of my videos, but I appreciate it. And that's all I've got today. Thanks for watching. Thanks as always to the patrons. Your support means a ton. Keep the great topic suggestions coming. I'll be back with a new episode next week, and I'll see you then. I don't think you would be able to enjoy a topless bar.